This is Robert Langdon.
I teach symbology.
The suspect called him.
From the author of the Da Vinci Code.
He wants me to locate an ancient portal.
We have to finish this, or my dad is dead.
Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol. Streaming now with new episodes every Thursday. Only on Peacock.
This is MuggleCast, MuggleNet.com's brand new podcasting feature. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Whoa, for August 8th, 2006. See why GoDaddy.com is the #1 domain registrar worldwide. Now with your domain registration, you get hosting, a free blog, complete email, and much more. Plus, as a MuggleCast listener, enter code RON, that's R-O-N, when you check out, and get your .com domain name for just $6.95 a year. Get your piece of the internet today at GoDaddy.com.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, this is ridiculous. What a waste of time.
MuggleNet.
Good.
MuggleNet. MuggleNet. It's a little bit funny. This feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. That is MuggleCast 50! Woo! Sorry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very special edition of MuggleCast, episode 50, which means we are halfway through our lifespan. We can only last 100
Did we
episodes.
say that?
Woo! Well, no,
Yeah.
but, well, I don't know.
Oh my god, no! God, I'm gonna cry.
It's like knowing you're gonna die. It's the same exact thing.
I'm
Welcome
Andrew
to
Sims.
MuggleCast.
I'm Ben Shane.
I'm Eric Skull.
I'm Laura Thompson.
I'm not even going to say my name. That'll do.
And last again, it's...
That's it, that'll do. I'm Jamie.
Come on, Jamie.
I'm going to start being friendly and just saying Jamie. And I'm Jamie.
Maybe we should start doing that. That's very down to earth. What were you going to say, Ben?
I was gonna say,
I can't lie.
It's like knowing when you're gonna die. You know, if you knew you were gonna die when you were 75, you would plan things out a lot better. But no one knows when you're gonna die, so they take all these chances. So, like, if we knew that we were gonna stop doing the show at episode 100, then we would actually make sure to get everything we wanted to in, and know that we have to plan things out more. So I say we don't stop at 100. We stop at
Gosh,
188 or something.
50 shows in. That
Ben,
was
Ben,
wonderful.
you're just depressing me.
That was
Ben,
Ben's
I'm gonna
first.
go cry
That
now.
was pretty
Like-
sad.
Have a group cry, then
Emotional-
we'll...
Yeah, group cry.
Yeah.
Show's over.
Well, hanging around Jamie really changed me these past few weeks.
What can I say? It's
Yeah.
Ben's a changed man. He used to, be involved in gang crime and he used to carry around 4 guns. Now he's a man of God.
Oh, God.
He really is.
Before we go anywhere else, Micah Tannenbaum is standing by in the MuggleCast News Center with past week's top Harry Potter news stories for the, 46th time?
After 6 years, author J.K. Rowling arrived on American shores for 2 nights of charity readings with authors Stephen King and John Irving at Radio City Music Hall in New York City to benefit the Haven Foundation and Doctors Without Borders. Academy Award-winning actress Whoopi Goldberg opened up the festivities on both nights, while author J.K. Rowling was introduced on the first evening by comedian Jon Stewart and on the second evening by actress Kathy Bates. During a question-and-answer session, Rowling told what she thought Hermione would see in the Mirror of Erised, hinted at a possible redemption for a certain Slytherin, explicitly stated that Dumbledore is dead. So there goes my theory, and sorry DumbledoreIsNotDead.com, you should have sold the domain name while it was hot. She also stated that she may have decided to change the title of Book 7 while in the shower Wednesday morning. All 3 authors read from the same passages both nights, with Joe choosing Chapter 13 of Half-Blood Prince, The Secret Riddle. The event drew roughly 6,000 people each night. Videos, pictures, and a full report from both evenings of Harry, Carrie, and Garp are available over on MuggleNet.com. Our live New York City podcast was a huge success, thanks to everybody who came out and saw us. Audio and transcript of the show will be available shortly. Thanks to all your nominations in what is being called Wizard Rock the Vote. We're asking Harry Potter fans to get out and vote at the 2006 Podcast Awards homepage for both MuggleCast and PotterCast. Simply go to podcastawards.com and vote for MuggleCast under People's Choice Podcast and PotterCast under Best Entertainment Podcast. You can fill out the ballot once every 24 hours. Voting ends August 11th. Speaking of nominations, Nickelodeon Australia has nominated MuggleCast at the 2006 Kids' Choice Awards in their favorite podcast category. Go to nickelodeon.com.au, create a nickname, and vote for all the categories. The podcast category is number 15 on the ballot. Also, Harry Potter is up for Best Book, Goblet of Fire is up for Best Movie, Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint are both up for Favorite Actor, and Emma Watson is up for Favorite Actress. The award ceremony will be held on October 11th. WB has confirmed that the sixth film, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, is set to be released on November 21st, 2008. Steve Kloves will return to write the screenplay for Half-Blood Prince. A director has yet to be chosen. Don't forget the fifth film, Order of the Phoenix, will hit theaters July 13th, 2007. Finally, as we wished author J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter a happy birthday this past week, today, after 50 episodes, we wish a happy birthday to MuggleCast, which is officially 1 year old. That's all the news for this August 8th, 2006 edition of MuggleCast. Back to the show.
Alright, thank you, Micah. And as we mentioned earlier in the show, this is episode 50. We are 1 year old with absolutely zero problems along the entire way. I can hardly believe it.
No, Andrew, Andrew, you're absolutely right. Never.
Except maybe the 10 or so times Jamie would get online when it was time to record and asked for a 3-hour nap. And for us to wake him up at 4
I am not the only one who did that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So, a few announcements, and then we'll move on to listener rebuttals. Do not forget to purchase your MuggleCast t-shirts. We gave away a lot of Lumos t-shirts back in Vegas, and everyone really enjoyed them, and we're probably going to have some more printed up soon to sell in the store. Also, big credit to Sam of samandnate.com. They're always helping us with these t-shirts, and they're our chief designers, so we thank them very much. And if any of you out there listening need t-shirt design or some t-shirts printed, then check out Sam and Nate, because they really do a great job on all their work. Also, don't forget to vote for us at Podcast Alley at podcastalley.com. We need a new vote from everyone at least once a month to stay in the top 10 there. And don't forget a big one, the Podcast Awards, the 2006 Podcast Awards. Voting is now going on. We are nominated in People's Choice. Pottercast is nominated in Best Entertainment. So we need everyone to vote once a day at podcastawards.com by voting for us in People's Choice and Pottercast in Best Entertainment, so we can both go to California and have a lot of fun. Right, Ben?
Remember, folks, that is MuggleCast in People's Choice and Pottercast in Best Entertainment Podcast. We cannot stress the importance of this.
Yes.
See, in the past, we've seen with charity drives and stuff like that, how when the Harry Potter fans unite, they can do great things. So we're asking you all to do it again, but this time with the Podcast Awards. And show these people the Podcast Awards that we're just not some lame Harry Potter talk show that just talks about some children's book.
Right.
That we're for real. We're a real podcast with a hardcore audience.
Yeah,
so
man, we're for reals.
It's on you.
That was beautiful, Ben.
Thank you. Thank you.
Listener rebuttals this week. The first one comes from Jonathan, 15 of Vermont. He writes, during episode 49, you debated how many wizards there were in the world. I think it was Andrew who mentioned the World Cup, and that huge to Harry could be 2,000 people. But when I looked through book 4, I noticed that Mr. Weasley mentioned that the stadium seats 100,000. So there must be at least 100,000 wizards, and probably many more, since it's mentioned several times in the book that it was very difficult to get tickets. Very good point there.
That's just completely... Our argument was completely wrong. That's brilliant, yeah. So there has to be over 100,000.
Yeah, that's pretty ironic, too, because that's how many listeners we have tuning into MuggleCast every week.
Practically.
Yeah, times 4 million. Then you've got how many people listening.
Exactly, Jamie. Next rebuttal comes from Melanie of Australia. She has a rebuttal regarding the wizard population as well. She actually quotes the interview between Emerson, Melissa, and J.K. Rowling held last year when Emerson asked her how many wizards there are in the world. And she talks about Hogwarts, and she says, here's my thing with Hogwarts. Way before I finished Philosopher's Stone, when I was just amassing stuff for 7 years, between having the idea and publishing the book, I sat down and I created 40 kids who enter Harry's year. I'm delighted I did because it was so useful. I got 40 pretty fleshed out characters. I never have to stop and invent someone. I know who's in the year, I know who's in which house, and I know what their percentage is. And I have a few personal details on all of them. So there were 40. I never consciously thought, that's it, that's all the people in this year, but that's kind of how it worked out. Then I've been asked a few times how many people, and because numbers are not my strong point, one part of my brain knew 40, and another part of my brain said, oh, about 600 sounds right. So she goes on to say, there will be the odd kid whose parents don't want them to go to Hogwarts, but 600 out of the whole of Britain is tiny.
Well, see, I don't really understand what the importance, unless you're nitpicking, what the importance and the amount of people there are really is, you know?
But we do nitpick.
Right, and the reason that I brought this one up is because basically it's saying, Joe's saying that she really has no official number for it.
Our last listener rebuttal is from Andrea, age 16, from Pipersville, PA. She talks about homeschooling and international government. Hi everyone, I had a couple of comments about the issue of homeschooling like you talked about in episode 49. What reason would the wizarding parents have to homeschool their kids? Magical transportation like portkeys make it possible to go anywhere for a school. So if parents, for example the Malfoys, didn't like the school close to them, they could just send their child to a different school. Also, unlike in our world where public schools don't always give a good education or can be considered dangerous, Hogwarts has some of the best witches and wizards as professors and many safety measures. I also have a rebuttal. The wizarding world does not have at least have some kind of international government. On page 95 of the US hardback edition of Order of the Phoenix, it is mentioned that there is an international confederation of wizards. I love the show. I thought that this is very good, but we don't know that Hogwarts has some of the best witches and wizards. Obviously, Dumbledore, and they're all very powerful, but we don't really have anything to compare them to. We've seen Karkaroff and Madame Maxime, but we don't know, the extent of their ability and stuff like that.
Now, I'm curious, last week when you guys were talking about, homeschooling their students, were you talking about primary school, what would come before Hogwarts?
We were talking about homeschooling with, for the entire magical education, not before Hogwarts. Well, it's kind of like homeschooling people throughout high school. It just doesn't really work. They get a substandard education. So the students
You're
usually
so funny,
aren't
Ben.
smart.
You're so funny.
Usually how it works.
No. This coming from the kid who is in the Kansas public school system.
I'm kidding. The only
Hear
reason
it
I
from
said
you.
that stuff is because Laura's homeschooled.
He's the only one in the Kansas public school
system. Please don't bombard with emails. I'm sorry.
But, didn't Draco say that his mom didn't want him to go because of the distance? I don't see why it would be a big deal to homeschool your students.
It's not a big deal. We were just trying to figure out how many wizard students there are in the wizarding world.
Oh, okay. Sure.
We're just not sure if students who go to Hogwarts could have been homeschooled.
Well, I
but
don't
they
really
still
agree
could
with that.
be homeschooled, couldn't they? It doesn't mean that.
Yeah,
just
sure they
because
could.
People have completely different perceptions. So some people could think that Hogwarts is good, but people who don't believe in the education system.
Yeah, because Joe even said that Mrs. Weasley homeschooled all of her kids before they went to Hogwarts.
No, but that's earlier.
Yeah, but
she's
why?
Talking kindergarten.
Yeah, I know,
maybe?
but if you could do it then, why couldn't you do it for ages 11 on up? I think you could.
It goes back to what we were saying about learning magic being a sort of inexact science. So it's more you learning it yourself than being taught it. Because, the teachers, we haven't seen enough classes, but they just say, do this, do this, do this. It seems like, especially in the practical magical subjects, and then the students try and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So moving on now, it was a year ago today, at least when we were recording, August 7th, that MuggleCast was released, our very first episode, featuring me, Ben, and Kevin. It was just us three. And it was a terrible episode.
Can you really believe it's been a year?
I know.
Aww.
I can't. Oh, jeez. I don't know. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, and it's
rough being Ben Shane.
And it's just weird to think that the majority of these listeners have been with us for a year now. We've basically been through everything with them, like holidays and just everything they've been through, and just week after week, we're friends now. We're like a family. But a question for you guys: did any of you think that this wasn't going to work, or you were just skeptical of the whole concept, or people just hate it from the start?
No, I knew it was going to work right from the beginning. Oh my god,
yeah.
I was thinking. No, I'm being sarcastic.
I actually wasn't skeptical.
Well, maybe not so much skeptical, but just unsure of how things would take off, like they really did.
I didn't really quite envision the scale that it reached, but I thought it would
I
be
don't
pretty
think that
successful
anybody-
just because of how many people come to
I
the
don't
site.
think that anybody would actually think it would become this popular because I'm not saying this to be arrogant, but we have our own, we have fans now, and it's the fans of the fans type thing, which is really kind of neat.
Yeah, basically, I didn't expect to be signing things. That was the big shock. It's like that people hand me their Harry Potter books, and I feel like I'm kind of defiling them. I'm like, I didn't write this, but I don't know. It's kind of odd.
I know. I felt weird writing in people's books too because it's the Harry Potter books, and really it should just be Joe who's signing it. But who would have thought that a year from now, a year from August 7, 2005, we would have already done 3 live podcasts, and we'd have these signings afterwards, and we'd be, people would be just really involved in the show. Episode 1, though, I'm surprised people caught on to it so quick because I didn't think it went too hot.
Well, I hosted that first episode, so I was actually pretty impressed with how it turned out, the quality. Actually, I never want to listen to that thing ever again. The audio quality was bad, the content was bad, it was poorly planned. But hey, you live, you learn.
Right, and I really wish all episodes of this show were as easy to produce as that one. I mean, now there's so much more involved. We have 5 co-hosts a week now, and our schedules are more conflicting than ever before, and it's just there's a lot of pressure on the show. But that first episode, it's so hard to get over your first episode, get past your first episode, because people don't know your personality. They don't know what the show's going to be like. But once you get past that first show, it's so easy to connect with the listeners.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Any podcaster would know.
It's really nervous.
Yeah, it's difficult at first. But something else I'd like to point out is I really do it. Like, sometimes people make me out to be this grumpy old man, and I really am not. I really enjoy when all of the fans come out and see us at these live...
You're a grumpy young man.
But anyways, I really enjoy it when all the fans come out to see us at these live events. It really makes us feel like we've, even if it's in some minor way, changed some people's lives to some extent. And so... if you get the chance, if you're in the area of any of these live podcasts we're doing, please come out and see us because we enjoy meeting you. I'm sure you enjoy meeting us, and it's nice to just be able to mingle with the fans.
Right. I mean, I've said this before. There's nothing better than the support from the listeners. I mean, the emails are great, and we love reading them, but there's something more to actually meeting the people and giving them hugs and talking with them and interacting with these people who... they're always listening to us, but we never really get a chance to hear from them.
What I really, like I said before, what I really enjoy is just this whole Harry Potter stuff is meeting all of the lovely people. Right, Jamie? Isn't that the best part? Because when you go to
it's the best part
when you go to these events,
I love meeting it.
We get to hang out with each other for a week, which has its ups and downs. Hanging out at Andrew can be a bit rough. But,
especially when you steal my bed.
Going to meet all these fans, you meet people from all different walks of life. For example, at both Vegas and New York City, there was a young lady from Australia, and she was really, really nice, and it was great.
And Jamie, your first experience with meeting the fans was there in Vegas when at the Scholastic Podcast with Emerson Wilson and Cheryl Klein.
I know, I couldn't believe it. I sort of somebody handed me a book, and I turned around, and in case there was a celebrity standing behind me, and they were trying to get the book to them instead.
Did you guys get anyone asking you for autographs at Radio City Music Hall?
Yeah, I got quite a few people actually.
Yeah.
As we were walking away, there were people who were asking for pictures, and
it was cool.
It sort of makes you feel like a phony because we don't really think that we're actual celebrities.
Well, especially since we were there in the same building as J.K. Rowling, Stephen King, and John Irving, and I'm like, why are you asking me?
And see, the people who don't know anything about Harry Potter walk by, and you're like, who are those bozos?
Exactly.
I'm like, I'm Ben Shane, people. You don't know who I am.
Yeah, there's actually a funny story about that from the New York podcast when me, Emerson, and Jamie went to the
bathroom.
Yeah, and inside joke, people, and we went to the bathroom and we come out. There were 2 girls, and they asked to take a picture with us. So we say okay, and they get this random guy who's reading the book standing there to take a picture of us with them. And he's like, I don't know who these 3 guys are, but I want a picture with them too once you're done. So we take the picture with the girls, and then we take the picture with the random guy.
Yeah. So we asked him what his eBay username was, because it's clearly going on there.
Yeah.
For $4 million.
So, to sum up the past few weeks, even though for the regular listeners who didn't come out to see us, I hope you enjoyed the live stream we did for Lumos and the recordings of the live podcast we put up. It's a lot more interactive if you're actually there, and next time try to come out, but we're back to our regular swing of things here for at least a few months. And yeah, the last few weeks have been great fun. Can you put it into words?
Now, Jamie, this was a special trip for you because, of course, you came all the way from the UK, and this was your first time in the US since, when was it again?
2001. But, yeah, I went to Orlando, though, which was completely different.
Yeah. And while you're here, you were introduced to, as we talk about on the Live New York City podcast, a new song.
Well, yeah.
You should sing this because this is a very important song to you. And it goes a little something like this.
Do I actually have to sing to it? I can't really. I'll wake everyone up and they'll kill me. Just play the recording you got in.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that in a minute.
Yeah.
Need you by
but
my
I mean,
side.
Yeah, there's a story behind this, as I said on the.
I'll play it in the background while we.
I was gonna say there's a story behind this, as I said on the New York podcast. We were sitting in Vegas by the pool at the Aladdin Hotel on the Strip. We were all, sunbathing, enjoying ourselves. And suddenly this song came blasting through the speakers, which they positioned all around the pool. And I hadn't heard this song before, and I thought it was absolutely awesome. Even though the lyrics are, the cheesiest lyrics you could ever hear in your life, it's still such a good song. So I asked Andrew who sang it. He told me, and then immediately I rushed upstairs onto his laptop, and I downloaded it through iTunes for about 99 pence or something like that. But it was worth every single penny.
You actually paid for it?
No, of course I didn't, but I'm not going to say I downloaded it through acquisition, am I? Anyway, yeah,
Too late now.
Best 99 cents or whatever I've ever spent. So after I'd done that, I put it onto my MP3 player, and I plugged my headphones in, turned it up to the maximum volume, jumped onto our very nice bed. Well, the bed isn't very nice now, but I jumped onto it and turned it right up and screamed the lyrics as loud as I could. And this was repeated several times throughout the entire holiday to this song, and my throat hurt so much by the end of it, but it was completely worth it. But I've got to point out that it really was screaming it. It sounded absolutely terrible. And Andrew, I think you have a snippet of it, don't you?
Yeah, it's very, very, very small, but we have more clips that we'll also play at the end.
I can't let you go. Want you in my life.
That's all I had a chance to record, but we have 2 more songs that we'll stick at the end that he sang that are really, really funny.
Well, there's actually another song that made its rounds while Jamie was jumping up and down on the couch.
There is.
Right, Jamie?
Yeah, this trip was a trip of songs. We in Vegas, we went for a stroll down the Strip to the Bellagio Hotel, where we stood by the fountains, which are featured in the movie Ocean's 11. And what happens is, every 15 minutes, the fountains come on and they perform their water show thing to a different song each time. And we happened to get there when the song was "I'm Proud to Be an American," or "God Bless the USA" by Lee Greenwood. And it was brilliant. All of us were in floods of tears.
Yeah.
We were comforting each other. It was the biggest display of manly love I've ever seen. We were all hugging and so I heard this song and I felt strangely patriotic, even though I'm British. So we went back to Andrew's house and I downloaded the song, put it on the MP3 player.
Downloaded it.
Yeah.
Huh?
We went to the hotel.
Yeah, I was saying we didn't leave Vegas.
What did I
back
say?
To Andrew's house. Yeah, we left Vegas.
Sorry.
Flew back to Andrew's and downloaded the song.
Okay.
Flew back to Vegas.
Yes, we're that rich. We can just go back to Andrew's house to download a song. No, sorry, went back to the hotel. I downloaded it, and again, this was followed by jumping up and down on the bed. And every time I did it, it brought a tear to my eye because I just felt
American.
so patriotic to America. So now I think for each time I sung that song, it sort of added 5% to American to me. So I'm sort of I'm slowly getting there. In a couple of years, I could have lost my Britishness completely and turned American. So yeah, those were the 2 best songs of the trip.
Actually, I had
God
2
Bless the
better
USA.
songs, but we'll get to those later.
Well, no, Ben, you got into
no.
Elton John, regrettably for the rest of us.
That's because I actually was walking down the strip, and the water show was going on the other side of the street, and I heard Elton John's "Your Song." I just heard, "I hope you don't mind," and I had to download it and stuff.
Laura, do you have any fun stories from Lumos to tell us about? Maybe some musical adventures that you experienced yourself?
No, all I got the whole time there was Ben berating me for my Green Day obsession, so I have nothing to say.
There she was, just walking down the strip, singing "God Bless the USA." That's the best song.
So we all have our favorite moments from the past 49 episodes of MuggleCast that we would like to play for everyone now. So first, we'll start off with Ben's favorite moment.
Unless you swing that way.
We should talk about how Hermione is portrayed in the films, because some people take it the wrong way, see it badly, poorly.
Ben thinks that she's portrayed very, 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 very well. Don't you, Ben?
Oh yeah.
He has dreams at night. Of like running through a cornfield, and they're chasing each other, and their arms are about to...
Oh, come on.
You can hear, chariots of fire going... Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, enough embarrassing me. Okay, about Hermione.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Ben.
Oh, memories.
And my voice sounds like I've been smoking for the past 10 years. All right, now we have Laura's 2 favorite moments.
And I'm not a scientist or anything, but isn't there a relation between an otter and a weasel somewhere along the line?
Is there?
Oh, it would make sense.
Oh my god, that's amazing! Oh my god!
Oh my gosh! Micah Tannenbaum has discovered the key to the Harry Potter shipping series. Do you guys see this? Fans, send a letter to the P.O. box.
Give us a call.
Fan mail.
No.
Give us a call. Oh my gosh!
218-20 magic. No, seriously though, he makes a good point.
Awesome
That is true. That is true.
And now I'm gonna have to look that up. Let me look.
I'm gonna do Google image searches and compare.
Can we have 10 seconds of silence to appreciate that amazing revelation by Michael?
Nobody Google image search weasel. I'm sorry I mentioned that.
Really? I'm doing it right now, of course.
All right, now number 2.
Actually, Ben, this is a perfect moment for this. I've been meaning to ask you this for a while now. I'm afraid I can't get down on one knee, but Ben.
Yeah.
Ben Carlo Shea.
Carlo.
Will you marry me?
Can I be the flower girl?
Of course, Jamie.
Oh, yes. Yes, definitely, definitely.
Can I be the best
man? Eric, you aren't doing the speech. Eric, you are not doing the speech.
Yeah. Is it just me, or I've forgotten half of the stuff we say on these shows?
I know.
Yeah, me
Actually,
too.
I've forgotten 98% of the stuff we say on these shows.
Yeah.
I just hate listening to them because I hate hearing my own voice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, same
I'm the
here.
same way. I don't
to
listen to any of the shows.
Same.
I feel like such a bad person.
We'll play the favorite moments from myself and Eric in a little bit. And by the way, Eric dropped out because he was at a Barnes & Noble using wireless internet, but then it broke down on him, and he's going back to his house where power is now restored. He had lost power earlier today. But Laura, you're going to tell us a little bit now about some bad moments that we've had recording MuggleCast, because every once in a while we do run into a hiccup.
Well, actually, I was kind of hoping Eric would be here to recount those, because I don't remember them very well. But there was episode 46, which I'm sure we all remember very well.
Oh my
This was our attempt to record our first live show over the internet, and well, Andrew, you had a very good description of what it sounded like whenever we went into that room, so why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
What had happened was we were using Skypecasts to do this live show because we thought, oh, it's Skype, there couldn't be any problems. It's, we use them every day to record and talk to each other. So we created a Skypecast, and you can fit up to 100 people in a room. And for some reason, because we had 2 rooms open or something, whenever we tried to talk to each other, just us co-hosts, there was this huge noise that sounded like wind, and it almost sounded like a hurricane.
But, Andrew, can I interrupt very quickly and just point out one glaring error in the name you just gave?
Oh, what?
It wasn't Scopecast, it was Scopecast Beta.
Oh, that does explain a lot.
Very important in this story. It figures very prominently in the story you're about to tell.
It does explain a lot. So, we just heard this giant hurricane wind-like noise, and we all had to yell over top of each other because not over top of each other, over top of this gigantic noise that we heard. It was so funny, and we were all in tears from laughter.
That was so funny.
It
That was
really
so funny.
It really was. It got to the point where we were just dying laughing, and I don't even know what was so funny about it, but
funniest thing that we've ever done, but it was also a pretty bad experience because we kind of screwed all the people who were hoping to listen to us record the show live. Now, another bad experience we had was episode 13, which was our Halloween episode. It was timed nicely because it was Unlucky 13, but it was also a very unlucky episode for recording. Right, Laura?
I think we recorded that one twice, didn't we? I think we recorded it twice and then we had to record it again because I think Eric's computer was messing up and I don't even remember if Jamie was on. Ben probably wanted to go to sleep. I was probably yelling at everybody to shut up.
Well, actually, I hadn't been on for 3 episodes and finally I was like, yes, I'm finally back on the show again. And I come on the show and we record an episode. I think it's fine. And then I probably left to go get some food or something, and I come back 3 hours later. I'm a big eater, you know. I come back 3 hours later, and Andrew tells me, "Hey, we re-recorded the show while you were gone." I was like, thanks for calling me. Yeah.
I can't remember why I didn't call you.
I don't even remember why we decided we needed to re-record it. It was just, I think we decided it wasn't a good show. It was bad and rushed.
So that's the lost episode.
Every once in a while, we'll hit a show where we just can't get through it.
Every once in a while, we'll lay here on Skype for 4 hours trying to start, and then finally we'll just be like, let's do it tomorrow.
Yeah, if by every once in a while you mean almost every week, then yes.
It's too bad Eric's not here right now because he could tell us all those horrific stories of how he's lost his audio file quite a few times.
Guys, my Audacity crashed. Guys.
It's the number one thing we hear from him. All right, now here is Eric's favorite moment. Of course, it's a moment of his.
Okay, okay. Quiet, Micah. All right, so now, you think Tootsie Rolls.
Because
everybody,
I say so much.
No, everybody knows what Tootsie Roll is. Everybody's had a Tootsie Roll. You know, and if they haven't, they're going to have a Tootsie Roll. So I'm sitting here looking at this whole tube of what used to be Tootsie Rolls. I actually ate them all. And I'm thinking, who manufactured these? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what company owns Tootsie Roll unless you work for that company. I'm thinking, but they sold millions. I mean, how many Tootsie Rolls have you sold or have you bought in your life? That's a lot of Tootsie Rolls. The point.
So what's your point?
So the point is, Andrew and Micah and Laura and viewers at home, that you don't know who manufactures Tootsie Rolls, yet you buy them anyway. And in the case of MuggleCast t-shirts, you know who manufactures them. You know that you're going to get your money's worth from MuggleCast. You know exactly who that money is going to and why it's going to them. And you can support the show by buying this, just like you support Tootsie Roll manufacturers, like the CEO of Tootsie Roll. The CEO of Tootsie is sitting there on a desk chair, and he's not doing anything for Harry Potter fans, but we are. And that's why you should buy a MuggleCast t-shirt.
Wow, that was inspiring. Long, lengthy, and inspiring.
Hey, Andrew.
But yeah, we
Full
really
of
appreciate
Tootsie
it.
Roll plugs.
Yeah.
The thing that I found funny about that is that all of us picked somebody else's comment, so we didn't seem arrogant. But Eric's favourite bit, Eric's favourite bit, just happens to be a half-an-hour monologue by himself.
Still,
how typical.
Actually, I've given Eric a lot of crap back in the day. Actually, every day. And
back in the day.
Not even close.
And I just thought that was pretty funny. And then his little spiel there.
All right, now here's my favorite moment, which is mainly for the comment that Laura makes later in this audio clip. But think about the situation. Lily was born among two she's
Muggle-born.
Whoa.
Muggle-born, Andrew? God.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Muggle-born.
Wait.
God, you're so prejudiced.
Jeez.
Okay, so Oh, I see. You guys are trying to be courteous. Okay.
What did you say, Andrew?
Dorks.
What did you say? I missed it.
I said mudblood.
Andrew!
These dorks are like, don't say that.
Mudbloods. They're both worth nothing anyway.
Hey.
You guys are such dorks.
Shut up. You work for the site, too.
I thought I was actually using the... I thought I was using the wrong term. You made me feel all stupid for a second.
Did you...
You should have felt
To
stupid,
me, that
Andrew.
sounded like you arbitrarily
just
chose 10 seconds of a random show.
No, I didn't.
And called it your favorite moment.
No, I thought that was a funny clip.
No, actually, I've seen people with that whole thing quoted in their profile over at the forums. So apparently,
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently people find it funny.
Ah, cool. Well, here is Jamie's favorite moment now.
Hey everybody, welcome to MuggleCast episode 32. Coming to you live from Andrews, Kansas. I'm Ben Shane.
Same as Andrew.
I'm Kevin Steck.
I'm Jamie Lawrence.
I'm Laura Thompson.
I'm Eric Skull.
And I'm Micah Tannenbaum.
We got a full house here this week, people. We have Aaron, Eric, Andrew, Kevin,
do.
Jamie, Laura. Jeez.
Yeah, this is great. I love this.
Can somebody
No,
paste the
why
schedule?
do you keep asking?
Give me the schedule. I want the schedule.
Okay, Jamie. I gave you the schedule 30 minutes ago.
Dude, go into the Rightly and get the schedule.
Hey, Ben. I forgot to do the news this week. What are we gonna do about it?
Micah.
Micah, can you stop asking
Andrew, what are we gonna
questions?
do about him?
I don't...
Hey,
I don't know.
hey!
Laura.
Don't be so mean to Micah. Micah is a good person. I am backwards compatible with Windows 3.1.
No,
Okay, the jig is up.
Windows XP
The jig is up.
3.1 doesn't exist.
Oh, quiet down, Laura. I used to
What
have
are you
Windows
talking
3.
about?
Okay.
Laura, okay, whatever.
Okay,
Stop
okay,
it.
guys.
Way to go, Andrew. You made me sound slow. Thank you.
That was my best portrayal of you.
You're such a good Laura impersonator. I think that should become your profession.
Oh, thank you.
That was definitely a good opening.
I thought that was funny. That was funny.
Ben, you kind of sounded like you were getting annoyed at the end of that, though, with us doing the impersonations.
No, I'm talking about the... I'm Kevin Steck.
All right, well, that concludes our episode 50 talk. We'll discuss a little bit later in the show, just a little bit more. But for now, of course, there was a big event this week, an evening with Harry, Carrie, and Garp, featuring J.K. Rowling, of course. What did you guys think of it? It was a huge event. We all went. What's up, Laura?
Well, what did you guys think of Stephen King?
He was awesome. I
thought it was
cool.
absolutely awesome to see him. I mean,
Lard Ass Hogan.
Yeah. Jamie, what do you think of Stephen King?
Well, I read it. I think I read it a very long time ago, or I saw the film, and I thought
You read
It.
what?
Stephen King's It. You know?
The book you read.
I know. I'm messing with him.
Anyway, so I read that a while ago, and I thought it was absolutely awesome. And I think it's interesting because everyone thinks of him as sort of a weird horror writer who comes up with these disgusting stories, but he's really, really normal. And he explained how he comes up with these stories in very practical, logical ways. So I think it was really, really interesting to hear that. Yeah, I thought it was fun. I thought John Irving told an extremely good story, and as Eric said, he answered his questions very well. But Joe just stole the night, obviously. But it was an absolutely awesome event. I thought it was really, really, really good and fun, and I'm so glad I went to it.
Yeah, me too. And Stephen King's entry was also his big entrance was also pretty cool because it kind of reminded me of. I feel like an idiot saying this, and I know Ben knows what I'm thinking.
Because he looked like Bono from U2 coming out to City of Blinding Lights.
Yeah. No, but it was very U2ish. There was like these 6 lights pointing out onto the towards the audience, and he walked out, and you can only see his silhouette, and it was just kind of cool. And then the lights came up and stuff. I just thought that was neat, and it's a shame J.K. Rowling didn't come out that same way. She just walked out. Although, I mean, she still had a big entrance with the applause.
Joe doesn't need an entrance.
She doesn't need an entrance.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
She's still got like a standing. She got the biggest applause. You know that.
Right, definitely. And it was funny because, like, we mentioned this on the live NYC podcast too, but every time her face came up on the intro video, it was huge applause.
Everyone freaked out, yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, another big surprise for almost everyone in that audience was when Jon Stewart came out to introduce Joe on that first night. That was really exciting.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, I got very excited.
Literally,
poor Micah. He was sitting next to me, and I screamed when I saw Jon Stewart come out, and I felt him kind of flinch.
I've never seen Andrew look so excited.
Micah did. Micah
Andrew,
looks
you
like
looked
Jon
so
Stewart.
excited when that happened.
Yeah, it was a big surprise, and I was just watching him on TV. It's the first time I actually saw him in person, so it was pretty cool. Ben, would you care to explain for our listening audience, for those who weren't at the event, could you tell everyone the order of the events?
It started off with Whoopi Goldberg doing an introduction that was written. It was written for her by, I don't remember who wrote it for her. It was probably Scholastic, and the intro, like she was reading it, sort of fell apart. So she had to improvise a bit, but she did a really nice job. She was really funny, and then she called out Kathy Bates, who came out and started talking about her personal connection to Stephen King, all these types of things, and then she introduced him. Stephen King came out and read a section of a story he wrote called The Body, and it was The Legend of Lard Ass Hogan, which has a lot of throwing up in it. It's a very funny story, but it also can make you sick to your stomach if you're not feeling too well. And then I forget the name of the guy who came out after Stephen King introduced John Irving. Do you guys remember?
Yeah, it was a different guy both nights.
I'm talking about the first night.
I'm not sure, but whoever it was, he wasn't very interesting.
Yeah, I don't remember. But anyways, the guy came out and introduced John Irving. John Irving read, Jesus, I forget.
A Prayer for O and Me.
Yeah, A Prayer for O and Me. That was very good. He was probably the best performer overall, because I think Stephen King was the best storyteller because he was able to keep your attention. I thought, because even though I was really tired, I was awake for most of his reading. But John Irving, what really impressed me about him is that he had a great ability to set his characters apart and do a lot of really good different voices. And I think that's why, for example, Andrew's little brother was really entertained, because he was doing a different voice for each character. He was able to do a high-pitched female voice very, very well. And overall, he was very entertaining.
Yeah, it was interesting because my brother, who's only 10 years old, he was actually very entertained by John Irving's reading. It was for that exact reason that Ben brought up, because he can do a lot of different voices. And he really enjoyed that story because, all the nastiness that was involved with it. So,
but the reason 90% of the people were there was to see J.K. Rowling.
Right, and J.K. Rowling did have 2 special question and answer sessions, one each night. The first night was a little bit of a disappointment. We didn't really learn anything new other than what Hermione would see in the mirror of Erised, which, of course, would be Harry and Ron alive.
The questions the second night were definitely more deep, I would say.
Yeah.
Definitely what the hardcore fan would want to hear.
One big thing she answered was that Dumbledore is actually for reals dead.
So now, which of us here on the Dumbledore show thinks that Dumbledore is still alive?
It was Micah
was that you,
and
Andrew?
No, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Whoever edited that show must have made it sound like I thought Dumbledore was actually alive, which is just silly. I don't know. Who would have done such a thing?
So, I have a question. I went to dumbledoresnotdead.com after this, and you might want to cut this because it might sound like I'm being mean, and I'm really not. But, well, on their site, they're saying something along the lines of, we never said that he was absolutely dead, or something along those lines, and I'm like, well, your URL is dumbledoresnotdead.com.
They went into a huge stage of denial when they first found out, and they made this post on the site, and they were like, but she's probably just fooling with us. She can't be for real. She wouldn't do it this early before book 7, blah, blah, blah.
Those fans are, I don't see what they're complaining about. They got what any fan could ask for, which is personal recognition by JKR.
Yeah.
She stopped everything and said, and there's a website, dumbledoreisnotdead.com, that will be very upset with me for saying this. She plugged them in front of 6,000 people, and
it's because she felt sorry for them. That's because she felt sorry for them that she was completely destroying their heritage.
That's how you show you affect the author of your books, even in such a minuscule way that she sees about your website. But that was just okay. That was touching.
We also found out from Jo that she's working on a young children's book, which actually we already knew, but she said it's about halfway written. and she'll release it after the Potter series is over with. She also brought up librarians, which was pretty funny, and she said that the reason librarians in Hogwarts are so mean is so that students in the school will actually have to do the research themselves, and her perfect example was Hermione, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, she actually apologized to that one woman because she was a librarian.
Yeah,
and,
sorry.
Yeah. I could see how
And
that
she
would be
said-
kind of awkward.
She said, please don't dislike me. I love librarians. The thing is, the answer is always in a book, but if we had good librarians, Hermione would never have to search and find it.
Yeah. That
So
was
they
pretty
would
funny.
always-
We also found out that she was ready to change the title of Book 7 when she was taking a shower before the second reading, which was kind of funny.
We found that out night 2. So what happened was, when we went there night 1, she had, a 98% certain title for Book 7 in her head, and night 2 she had a completely different different set title.
Yeah. At least we know now that she's been thinking about the book even while she's on a vacation here in the States. But she's not going to use that title. I thought she said it was too late or something.
No, she said that she was kind of on the fence about it, but she thought that the newer one was better. Something along those lines. But do you guys think this bodes well for a Summer 07 release?
No, never in a million years. I will eat 50 more sausages if it's released in 2000.
I'll be right there with you, Jamie.
Thank you, because there is no way it's going to be released in summer of 2007.
They've already.
I really
ruined the
don't
date.
think so.
Of course
I
it
really
won't.
don't think it
would
will.
be ridiculous. She can't write that much in a that short amount of time. As I've said to Ben in a previous episode, she can't just pull it out of her rear end. She's got to write it. And Book 7, it's the concluding part of her entire septology. She can't just... So she has to think about every loose end. She has to leave no stone unturned. She has to make sure it's absolutely 100% finished before she gets it out. Why would she try and get it out then, when all the hype of the movies is around? And we shouldn't really get into this again, but...
Right, and the first night of the reading, she said that she had written a good portion of Book 7, but she still felt like she had a lot left to write. And it's important it's important to remember that she has to submit the manuscript to the publishers. The publishers have to do their editing, which is what Hot Cheryl does, and they have to pass around the manuscript, doing all their editing, and then they have to compare the British version to the American version and make sure that everything is like the integrity is preserved between each of them. And so I wanted it summer 2007, but now I'm pretty sure we're looking at 2008.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to assume. Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to assume that if we haven't heard anything by Christmas, like we did for Half-Blood Prince, then we probably won't have a book next
Right,
year.
and with Half-Blood Prince, we had the title a year before the release. We had the title about now. And so if we get the title within the next 2 months, then maybe. But I don't want people to get their hopes up, because, she said that she said in her interview with Emerson and Melissa last summer that she was hoping to have the book written and release it in summer 2007. But, I'd rather have her take her time and have it be really good rather than have her rush it and try to make it for the fans,
But what is with this? I mean, she's making it sound like that she's still got a long way to go, but then we've got representatives from Scholastic predicting Summer 07.
Yeah,
I know.
That's what's confusing me.
Well, what she actually said at the podcast was not that she had gotten...
She was at our podcast?
I'm sorry, at the live... Yes, she was, but she was wearing a black...
She was sitting with the staff, Andrew.
Aww. On the floor. Anyway, what she actually said at the reading was that she had written, she'd gotten quite a far way into Book 7, but she felt that she hadn't answered questions, answered a great deal of questions. It wasn't that she felt she had a great deal more to go. She just said a lot of the big questions still haven't been answered. And that was what upset me, but she didn't say anything about how much she's actually going to answer in Book 7. So Book 7 could be very close to being ended, very close to being finished, which is what threw me off. But she said, I'm a great deal into it. I'm pretty far in, but I really don't feel like I've answered a lot of the major questions. And she kind of shrugged it off like, yeah.
But the simple fact that Warner Brothers chose summer 2007 for the movie really does...
Which was a
really
stupid
doesn't
idea.
bode well for her having the book done by then. And so I just I would love to have it be next summer, but with a movie, next summer is going to be busy enough. So, I mean...
Oh, if the book came out next summer, our whole summer would be Harry
it probably
Potter.
will end up being that way anyways, but I just think that I might get a little bit burnt out because it would be so much fun, but I'd rather have it be drawn out more and have something to look forward to rather than have it all.
I think so too.
All at once.
Yeah, not to mention Joe's on a vacation now up in the Hamptons, so I doubt she's getting much writing in during her little vacation. Which is good.
You don't know how much writing she's doing
On vacation.
We'll see. No, writers. No, writer. No, that's
why
not.
If something comes to her.
Okay, writers need inspiration. They need inspiration.
But...
So it doesn't matter if it's 3 a.m. in the morning and she just got done breastfeeding her latest born. She's gonna pause to go write a chapter.
Mackenzie,
Father Mackenzie.
No, it's not that. If something came to her, then I'm sure she'd jot it down. But I don't think she's gonna say, "Okay, Neil and everybody, I'm going to sit down for 3 hours today while we're on vacation, and I am going to write." I just don't see that happening. I think that since she hasn't been here in 6 years, if she's here on vacation, she's probably here having fun with her family. And I completely support that.
And anyways, it's just 2 weeks. It's not...
Yeah, Laura makes a good point, though. Good point, Laura. Now, Salman Rushdie, who is a famous author, came up with his son and proposed to Joe a Snape good or bad theory. And Eric, you got the gist of it. Most of us didn't.
So the guy at the reading went up to her, and this was the question that she answered the Dumbledore is truly dead thing to. But he talked about Snape. He went through. It was him and his son, and they went up to JKR and they said something about how they feel that Snape is a good guy, and that him and Dumbledore planned Dumbledore's attack and death and all that stuff. But as a result, since Snape is good, that means Dumbledore isn't really dead. And he went through this elaborate thing about how Snape and Dumbledore could, play off each other, and how Snape was really working for Dumbledore against Voldemort and tricking him and stuff. And then he said, well, just because Snape is good, that means Dumbledore isn't dead. And Joe just said, well, unfortunately, Dumbledore's dead. And then that's all she said. She didn't even touch the Snape thing. It wasn't even like a fleeting moment where she was going. She just completely didn't say anything at all. So.
Yeah, she said your opinion on Snape is correct.
Oh.
But that's what I thought was interesting, that she used opinion. Like, she didn't just come out and say, you're right about Snape. She said, your opinion on Snape is correct. So it just, I don't know if she was trying to throw us off or something. It just seemed weird to me that she did that.
I think that was just the safest way to her of answering it without giving anything away.
Okay, I have a question. What was the way that Joe worded it when she had asked about the 5 people she would ask from Hogwarts or whatever to come to dinner with her? What did she say that led people to believe that Harry, Ron, and Hermione are going to live through the series?
What happened was Soledad O'Brien asked each author to name 5 characters from their book that they would take to dinner. And when it was Joe's turn, Joe said Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and then she paused to think about it. She put her head in her face, and she was like, I can't. Like, she gave the idea that, she was having a hard time coming up with the 5, and then people started yelling out characters from the audience. But then that's when Joe said, yeah, but I'm the only one who knows who lives through book 7. And that was when everyone realized that she was trying to name people who lived through the series. So that's what gave away Harry, Ron, and Hermione do live. And then someone was like, well, if it could be any character. And then Joe said, okay, then Dumbledore and Hagrid too. So.
Well, it's not like it matters because Emerson pretty much confirmed for everybody at the live show.
No.
Well,
okay,
if she said that they're all going to live through the end, then
that was so long ago. Things could have changed a million times by then. And that was back when. Right now, J.K. Rowling's harder to meet than the President of the United States. That was back when she was still doing these smaller bookstore tours. And I honestly, I said this at both live podcasts. If all 3 of those, if the trio of every one of them makes it through the series, I just don't feel that it's actually realistic, because Joe, I think she's going to have to give one of them the axe, because as she said before, that they don't go after the extras. She does not target the extras. She goes after the ones who are closest to the main character. And the only way that she can actually do that is by nailing one of the three. And I just don't see how it's realistic for us to expect all three of them to make it through. And I just don't want it to end up, everything's so happily ever after. The trio went on and got married, blah, blah, blah. I think you can interpret what she said that night differently.
No, I'm telling you, you should listen to the recording if we can find one.
Well, then what's the point of even reading books? Harry's going to live.
See what happens to Hagrid?
Just throw him
to
the
get
towel
out
now.
the details, the in-between.
Yeah, but just because they all live doesn't mean everything's going to be hunky-dory. I mean, what if something just terribly awful goes on and Harry ends up separating himself from Ron and Hermione forever? I mean, what if he just goes and, holes up somewhere and becomes a hermit? Who knows? Just because they all live does not mean it's going to be a happy ending.
Not at all. And the crap they go through, I mean, my God, we might be begging for something happy. I know some of us were reading book 5 and begging for Harry not to be such a pissant, about everything.
Yeah. And, on those lines, something so terrible might happen that we might be begging for one of them to die to just stop being miserable. I mean, who knows what's going to happen to them? It's a war, and I think that, like Dumbledore said, there are worse things than death, so...
Yeah. Oh, jeez, yeah.
I'm with him.
That's a good point.
Well, and she knows, also, didn't she say something like Dumbledore wouldn't pull a Gandalf, but any other... Well, she said that, but also she kind of hinted that he might still be able to affect Harry, or something he does might be, like, to guide Harry, like maybe a portrait, something like that. Because I think someone asked her that question, and she just said, well, he's not, you couldn't expect him to pull a Gandalf.
I felt so vindicated when I heard that, because the first night after the reading, I'm walking out of Radio City Music Hall, and there is this guy, and he's just going insane and telling everyone around him that Dumbledore is alive because Dumbledore made a Horcrux. And this guy turns to me, and he's yelling at me to go to dumbledoreisnotdead.com. And he's like, Dumbledore made a Horcrux. And I'm like, no, he didn't. And he said, yes, he did. And I'm like, Dumbledore does not have the type of malice that a person would need to have to want to create a Horcrux, because even if he did kill somebody, he's not going to split his soul, because that would make it impure. And this guy's like in my face yelling at me, and I just felt so I threw my arms in the air. I was like, yes. And Jess, who's the Dumbledore hater, she was beside me, and she's just freaking out, and she's all happy. So it was a wonderful moment.
It was probably the guy from dumbledoreisnotdead.com.
I'm going to think of a way to twist and contort what Joe said that night. Distort.
Into what?
Okay, I have no idea why, but I just spit soda everywhere.
No, I'm going to find a way to prove to you that there's still room to kill Ron and Hermione.
I'm telling you, man, listen to that audio, and you will be very convinced that they are going to die, because it definitely came off as a slip-up.
No, okay, she's very deceptive. She's very deceptive. She's very tricky. So I wouldn't put it past her.
Yeah, but you could tell she didn't do it on purpose. Well, I'll show it to you later.
But later that night, too, there was one of the final questions she was asked was so big. It was one she absolutely had to ignore, and she said, you guys should feel happy. I gave you Harry, Hermione, I gave you Dumbledore, I gave you Petunia. She was listing all these things that she thought we clearly were given by her. And so I don't think that that's still a question. And the thing she said about Petunia was that there's, quote, more to her than meets the eye, which makes it seem like she's a witch to me, but I guess that could be interpreted.
No, didn't she debunk that?
Maybe somewhere, but she said there's someone asked her about Petunia. Oh, yeah, will Petunia be sad that Harry's last time on Privet Drive is this summer, or something? It was like that question, and she answered it kind of like that.
Well, guys, something I could point out is that even though I know several of you probably enjoy seeing one of the trio die with me, you're just holding out for popularity. Gotta say, they're all gonna live, so all the fans love me. I'm sorry, I'm not just saying this to be hated. This is the way I feel.
You feel very strongly about this, Ben.
For what I believe in.
No, you know what? I mean, I would be very sad if one of the members of the trio died, but at the same time, I would understand that that's reality. I could go with it either way. Although, okay, I had one thing I wanted to say. Was anyone else surprised that Stephen King and John Irving did not read from Carrie and The World According to Garp?
Yes.
Since that's kind of what it was called.
Well, it's just what they're really famous for reading. That's what. Not famous for writing, so...
Yeah, but I just figured if that's what they were calling it, then...
Well, Harry is so vague. Harry could be any of the books. That's not really fair to the authors to call it Harry, Carrie, and Garp if they are actually going to make them read those novels.
Yeah, I guess.
Because what J.K. Rowling novel is Joe not going to read that isn't a Harry book?
Well,
the rabbit one?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. The rabbit book she wrote when she was 6.
Well, that would be interesting to hear at least.
That would be fun.
But apart from that, I had a great time.
Yeah, it really was an excellent
Awesome.
event put on by Scholastic, and hopefully she'll do something like this in the future. Maybe another 6 years.
I hope she does, but one of the reasons that I was so adamant to go is because, I mean, it's really a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Even if we do see her again, we're not going to probably see her reading alongside such great authors such as Stephen King and Jon Irving. So I'm not sure we'll ever get to see anything quite like it again.
Right, yeah. Combined with those 2 other authors, it really was a unique night.
Mm-hmm. We actually had a lot of cool people at the Vegas and New York shows who brought us things. I think, I want to say...
I think I know who you're talking about. Jennifer and Kelly.
Time to
New
thank
York.
them.
They made us nice little goodie bags filled with chocolate and
Goodie
hats
bags.
and a few other different things. And we all got a little personalized letter. It was very nice. And we also got little kangaroos from, who was it again, Jamie? What was her name? The Australian girl?
Erica.
Yeah, thanks to her for these little kangaroos. I don't know if anyone else did. I got a little iPod carrier from someone. I forget your name. Please email me and then I'll thank you. It has a little A on it. And it's the Gryffindor colors. It's really nice.
In New York, a really lovely, wonderful girl named Katie brought me a bunch of Save Darfur bracelets because she and a friend of hers are really into the cause, and they made a little movie about it, and it was at their school's like Academy Award type thing for student-made movies. So I wanted to thank her for being really into that cause because that's something that's very important to me, and it was really sweet of her to bring those for me.
And we also got cards from a girl named Christina. She all made us little personalized cards with a note.
Oh, yeah, those were so cute.
Yeah, so thanks again to everyone who came out to the live shows. We had a great time meeting everyone. Anyone else got anything to add?
And you can tell everybody that this is your show.
I'd just like to say... I'd like to say something very quickly. It's just going to be brief. I'd just like to say to everyone that every time we touch, I feel the static. And every time we touch, I reach for the sky. Can't you feel my heart beat slow? I can't let you go. I want you in my life. All of you.
Oh, wow.
So, thank you very much.
It's very nice.
And you can tell everybody that this is your show.
So once again, thanks to everyone for listening and for the past year. We really appreciate everyone's support, all the emails, all the thank yous, all the everything that we get. Exactly. On that note, let us give you our contact information one last time. The P.O. Box Ben.
P.O. Box 223, Moundridge, Kansas 67107.
You can also leave a voicemail for us in the United States. Dial 12820-MAGIC. If in the United Kingdom, you can dial 020-8144-0677. If in Australia, just for Erica, you can dial 02-8003-5668. Don't forget, you can also email us, MuggleCast@staff.mugglenet.com. Skype the username MuggleCast. You can leave a voicemail that way, too. And do not forget to vote for us at the 2006 Podcast Awards. Vote for MuggleCast in People's Choice and Pottercast in Best Entertainment. Once again, I'm Andrew Sims.
I'm Ben Shane.
I'm Eric Skull.
I'm Laura Thompson.
And I'm Jamie Lawrence.
Oh my god, Eric and Jamie, that was the most depressing goodbye.
Sorry. And I'm Jamie Lawrence. Goodbye.
And bye.
That's better.
Done.
We'll leave you tonight with voicemails from listeners like you who can recall some favorite MuggleCast moments from the past year. Once again, thank you to everyone for listening, and we'll see you next week for episode 51.
Wants to live forever. Come on.
I don't know that one.
Who wants to live forever? Come on. Who wants to live forever? Oh, who dares to love forever?
The maids are laughing hysterically at you.
Sorry?
The maids are laughing hysterically at you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're
cracking up.
Do I'm proud to be an American.
Sorry?
Do I'm proud to be an American.
Yeah, it's the
Why is
best.
nobody videotaping this?
New York to LA. Now to every American heart. Trying to him to say, hey! And I'm proud to be an American, but at least I know I'm free. I won't forget the men who died, who gave their right to me, and I'll gladly stand up next to you. There's no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And we're proud to be an American, but at least I know I'm free. You're gonna fall. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave their right to me, and I'll gladly stand up. Oh my God, I'm so tired. Till today, no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
That was beautiful.
Hi, MuggleCast. This is Marissa Bowers, 14 of Pennsylvania, and I wanted to call about the favorite podcast numbers and moments. And I have to say that one of my favorite moments is Jamie's proposal. I laughed for 10 minutes, of course, or more, and rewound it about 5 times. And my other favorite moment is Jamie's bet with the sausages. Good times. Can't wait to... And you know what? I just really want that to happen. As much as I don't want Harry to die, I just still want that to happen. Thanks. Love the show. Bye.
Hello, MuggleCast. This is Zeta from Canada. My favorite MuggleCast moment has to be this. This is MuggleCast episode 18 for December 04, 2005. Want to know why? Because it's the first ever MuggleCast episode I've ever listened to. So, love the show and keep it up. Bye!
Hey guys, it's Nicole from New Hampshire, and I just want to say happy 50th episode, and I love the show, and my favorite moment was when Matt Vine said Joe was full of it. I love the show, bye!
Hi, this is Tori from Texas, calling in for episode 50, our favorite MuggleCast moments. I think my favorite moment, pretty recently, is Dumpster Diving Joe. Every time I listen to that one, I just crack up and can't stop laughing, so that would have to be my favorite MuggleCast moment. Alright, guys, keep up the show. Bye.
Hi, MuggleCast. I was just calling to tell you one of my favorite moments in MuggleCast. One of my favorite moments was when on episode 23, Melissa called in for the advice segment and pretended to be Julie, even though you guys probably knew it was her. But it took me a while to figure it out. When I did figure it out, it was really funny. So I really liked that. Bye.
Hey, MuggleCast, this is Katie from Florida, and I just wanted to say I absolutely love your show, and your show makes me feel I'm not the only nerd out there, and I love you, Ben. Bye.
Hi, this is Liz from Weatherville, Maryland, and I was just at your live show in New York City, and I had a great time. And when I first saw you all come out there, it just reminded me how much joy you guys actually bring into my life. And then I speak for a lot of MuggleCast fans when I say that you guys definitely make the week a whole lot better. And I would seriously just I don't know what I'd do without MuggleCast. You guys are amazing. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. Yeah, I want to marry Ben Shane. Okay, bye.
Hi, Andrew and Ben. It's Ryan Sims. Have fun in Las Vegas. Okay, bye.
Hello, my name is Johnny, and I live in Georgia, which is very close to where Laura lives, and I want to meet up with her, and we're going to have several little muggles. Bye.
At
Starbucks, we've been connecting over coffee for the last 50 years. From knowing your order to getting to know you, you've made every day special. And because of that, we've learned that we're better together. So here's to you and the next 50 years.